So what's gonna be
Okay,
think you on?
so before we get that started, can we agree to like some judges?
Yeah, no, I agree to no one in the server. It's a circle jerk. So yeah, what's gonna be reason us you won?
Um, so Drip knows the judge. Okay, I agree to that. Thank you for
Yeah, you
accepting
could
that
agree
and
either.
putting that forward. So for the reason I won, I showed he wasn't really engaging with any of the points that I presented. I brought up multiple points early on the conversation and in the debate. And yo, your mic sounds like how old people fuck. Can you mute up? That sounds like actual dog shit.
No clue right now what that sounds like, but sure,
Bro,
okay.
that sounds like fucking. That sounds like a hurricane. That sounds stupid as shit. Thank you. Okay, thanks. So number one, where was I? So the first point of the debate was where we talked about the the Batman's gadgets on his bat fucking belt. That was the first point of the debate. So when we were talking about that, we know that Batman has a big inconsistency when it comes to the objects and the things that he uses on that bat belt and his gear. There's a huge inconsistency there. And I displayed that by showing how, in some instances, he'll have a random thing for that certain point and it has some level of plot induced stupidity. And then after I did that, I showed that there's a level of consistency when they present and talk about the actual gear that Batman has in his bat belt. So I'm making the assertion that there's going to be a level of prep time, and I use the supporting evidence to support that assertion was all those scans that I dropped in the channel, and he just said, "Why though? Why though?" He just put something into question, and I proved it using the evidence. And then I gathered a preponderance of evidence to support my point.
Yeah,
You can
okay.
go.
And I also
I'm you.
think BB's retarded, right? You see how when I make claims, you can certainly claim that you did this, this, and that. That's what's asking the question, right? So what he actually did was internally critique your position, right? You can send the scans, you can quote unquote send consistency for scans, but if he's questioning and putting into the question, it wasn't like basic skepticism, right? So what you did, you didn't ask him why he was skepticizing. You didn't attribute his skepticism to being baseless, right? So off that notion, if we now deem his skepticism as valid, you did nothing to fulfill the burden he put on you via the skepticism and the questions he was asking, the clarified questions he was asking. All right. I don't think I have to go over specific points. He did it for every single scan. And what your city as
Your mic's cutting.
2019, yeah, sorry. What your city as 2019 debater brain did was stunlock and kept on trying to send the scans when he was already questioning the entire thing, right? So the first time, if I remember correctly, he sent what the belt shit. He was like, yeah, this is consistent. This is consistent within Batman's narrative that this is the gear he uses in the belt, right? He questioned that. So then you get scans so this consistently. So then he questions the scans you send for consistency, right? And once again, never in the debate that you clarify or say that the things he was using to skepticize was a baseless skepticism, right? So if we deem the skepticism to be valid, and he's constantly critiquing, eternally, might I add, internally critiquing your position, skepticism in your position, and you yourself just admits that he was asking why, etc., you can certainly think you quote unquote proved it by sending more scans. But if he's putting something into question and you answer the thing he's putting into question with more scans, and if he puts those same scans into question under a valid skepticism base, then obviously you didn't get what you're chatting about.
What makes it valid?
Yo, can you fucking track? It makes it valid because you yourself never pointed out as not valid. So if you ignore something in debate, generally under certain conditions, we just assumed you agree to that, right? You in the debate
No,
never put can
no,
I
no,
finish?
no, no.
Can I finish? Can I finish? Yeah, you
I,
in the
I was
debate.
just asking one question for
Can I, yo,
clarity. I don't
Tyler,
want to
get this
go.
fucking
You
retard,
said
get this
you
fucking
literally
retard, get this fucking retard, get this fucking retard, get
10
this fucking
minutes.
retard, get the
I
retard, get
just
the
asked
retard, get the
one
retard,
question for
get the
clarity,
retard, get the
and then
retard,
I
get the
got the
retard, get the
clarity.
retard, get the retard, get the
Yo,
retard,
is
get
this
the
guy
retard, get the
good?
retard, get the retard, get the retard,
Stop
get the
pimping
retard,
out.
get the
Stop
retard.
pimping.
Get the
Stop
retard.
pimping
Like
out.
he just
Stop
not
pimping
checking
out.
already. Have
Stop
I
pimping
not
out.
said 50
Stop
times
pimping
why we
out.
think this skepticism to be
Yo,
valid? Are you good,
stop
bro?
chimping out. Stop
Yeah,
Yo, let,
chimping
so
let
you're
out.
him
not gonna interrupt me to tell me stop chipping out. I don't know what shitty ass
Yo, he's
low
chimping
tier
out.
ass
He's
strat you
chimping
think you're
out.
using. Yo, can we get yo Tyler,
He's
can you do
chimping
something?
out, bro.
Yo,
yo, BB,
yo.
let him finish, bro. Let him finish, bro.
Right, okay. So
Shut the fuck
as
up.
I was saying, I
You're
guess
chimping.
you're
Yo, he's
asking why we
chimping
should.
out. He's
Oh my
chimping out.
god. Yo, are you yo, mute this nigga. He can't
Okay,
control himself.
so
He's retarded. He can't. Right, okay. So as I was saying,
I don't
you're
know why I just
asking.
got fucking server muted. Yo, have it. Can you handle
Yo,
like
bro,
me getting
yo,
perma
can
mute for
we
some
get this
reason?
monkey? Can you shut up, bro?
He just talked for 20 minutes and then I asked
What?
one
What?
question for
You're not gonna
clarity.
make point.
It
Yeah, yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
take it
Everyone
doesn't
peep.
take
This
the
is what
whole
low
thing.
tiers
Okay,
do.
so
They make hella
to
points, and then
address
we
what
ask
he
you to
said,
respond and realize they
that
couldn't
puts
track what you said.
so
Now they're
there's a
fucking
level
crying.
of like
This is what
so
low
there's
tiers
a,
do.
so what
This is
all I
what
did
low
was
tiers
ask.
do. They
So
make
all I
shitty
did
ass
was
points, and when you respond to the points, they start crying, and you ask to
so
respond to the
so
points.
number
This
one,
is
the
what low
issue
tiers
that
do.
is presented here
Your
is if the
ass. You
skepticism that
asked the
he
question I
presented was
answered 3
valid.
fucking times.
So
You take the
we were
skepticism to
arguing
reality.
over an
But you yourself
interpretation, and then
never
I brought
attributed any baselessness
evidence.
to the skepticism. So
Oh
if
my
you
god,
never
this
questioned
guy
the
good.
skepticism itself, why should we take the skepticism as not
Yo,
valid in that case, right? Because under certain debate norms, under debate norms that you were operating
is
under,
he? Am I
we
gonna? Is he gonna
know
let me answer
when
the
you,
question, or
yeah,
is he
yeah,
gonna
we
stay
know
entitled
when
to one?
you ignore
Uh,
something, you usually agree to said thing. You just explicitly stated you agree, right? So if you don't particularly point out in the skepticism that is baseless, then we have no reason to take the skepticism to be baseless. Therefore, the skepticism isn't fucking valid, you dumbass, skeptic, retard ass kid, right? So that's gonna answer your number one question. I answered that question 50 times. If you didn't track again, everyone in the VC obviously caught that. You just didn't. We can move on. So what's your next question as to why you got slammed badly?
okay, I don't have to address retard skepticism. Number one, because
Yeah, you
I'm not
certainly could
trying to
think that, bro.
convince
That's why you
him.
lost,
My
because you
goal isn't to
didn't
convince him.
justify
If you,
anything or
why is
clarify
he
anything
interrupting? Yo,
beyond the
Tyler,
skepticism.
mic up
You
and
are
be
you
explain the
good?
service
Ghosty,
now.
What
ghosty,
are you
ghosty, ghosty,
talking
ghosty. Wait, wait, wait.
about?
Can I'm gonna interrupt one of you if you cut each other off because it's not going
Yeah,
Like
go
anywhere.
I
ahead, bro.
literally let him. I let him.
Let me finish. Time out.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me finish. All right, we go.
Like what the fuck? Like my barber's dead. That doesn't mean you have to
Oh,
treat me like
bro.
this. This guy's weird as
Go.
fuck. Okay, thank you. So number one, this is like if you went to a courtroom and organized conversation with rational minds, and you're having a conversation, and then someone and the prosecutor presents these evidence as the case, and then the guy says, "Why though? Why though? Why though?" The prosecutor doesn't even have to explain it if he's already shown why it's the case with evidence and reasoning. There's no more whys that need to be answered. That is inherently fucking stupid. I'm not asking. I don't care if I convince him or act under his skeptic retardism. What I'm trying to do is to convince the rational mind of my point. I'm not trying to argue within this little fucking debate, bro. Bullshit, circle jerk, infinity's a fucking retard. Under that shit, where we're trying to find a win.
Chill,
I'm trying to
infinity,
just
bro.
argue within the rational mind for the
Fucking
rational
retarded, you
mind.
shitty
That's
bitch.
all I care about. You're shitty. You lost to Jester 6 times. Enjoy the server mute. Motherfucker, we
Yeah,
can
you
make that
done?
shit a seventh time. Okay, you can address what I just said.
Yeah, okay. Why not asking this now? I guess I don't know why we're applying courtroom norms to debate norms. It's fucking retarded and shitty as hell. And two, once again, we keep going into shitty
By
ass
the way, you
circles.
talk shit, knew you're wrong, and then you muted me. You fucking
Yo, yeah,
scaredy ass.
chill. Yeah, so you
Wait,
talk like
who on server muted him? I'll just time
chill,
him
bro.
out.
Chill, bro. Shut up.
Wait, we were gonna ban
Um,
him anyway.
Yeah, you're not
Continue
banning shit. What was I saying? Right, okay. So one, this analogous, I don't know why you should use that. Like it was just, like good as fuck. Yes, analogy, I don't know why. You'd have to show any justification that we take the same norms we would in the courtroom in the discord debate. Conflation is fucking stupid too, right? You can certainly think that, but that's the reason you lost. Is because if you would have like okay, it would have been one thing if you would have addressed his skepticism as based on sure, and then you could have kept going on with your scans. But the thing is, your retarded mind could comprehend the worst of his mouth. So what you did was you kept sending scans, and you not realizing using those scans is even more blundering. You dig yourself in even a bigger hole if he's questioning each and every scan, right? Personally, sure, I probably would take that to be fucking what basic skepticism, but you in a debate never highlighted it to be basic skepticism, right? That's the entire point. So I don't know why you're trying to appeal to some shitty ass analogy when you yourself is already conceded to the fact that you didn't answer only address any of the skepticism points. You didn't justify, clarify beyond these skepticized points, right? You just quote unquote sent scans to try to convince the rational mind. But the rational mind is going to be like, all right, did you answer the question he just asked about this? No, what you did was send more scans and then not answer the second question with the scans you sent. And then he asked questions about the scans you just sent to answer the first question, right? Because you just, in the cycle of retardism, you sit in web of fate getting your fucking butt destroyed. And you just ass. I don't know what you think this is a quote unquote infinity syndicate. I don't know
All
what you
right,
think
that
this
shit was
is.
empty rhetoric. Your syndicate's shitty.
You're not gonna
So,
get city. Hey, I
so
poop
once
in your
again,
fucking father. Right.
when
So as I'm
when
saying, I don't know
people
what
with
you think this is.
rational,
You're just
okay,
not in your prime no more,
can I
right? This is
speak now? You're just
2019. It's
you're
not
simping out. You're
2019.
simping
You're
out.
not
Empty
gonna
rhetoric. Empty
get
rhetoric.
by
You're the side
skepticism with more scans, and he's gonna skepticize the actual
now.
scans. We can go to conclusions. You're horrible. We can go to conclusions.
Okay, so once
We can
again,
conclude.
what I'm asserting is that there is
We
a
can conclude.
certain
You're
level of
horrible.
rationality when that comes to conversations. And
Holy shit.
that's, for example, like if I was arguing with someone and they just started screaming, flaming, yelling, and arguing while doing it like that in like a normal sense. So to the general public in conversation, there's like a level of there's a level of intuition that comes to debates and conversations. In my mind, and how most of rational people would see that conversation is that I did prove that burden. So I don't have to argue within his specific standards and his specific rationality that's shitty and skeptical and retarded. I can go and just argue and present it to be the case. If he keeps asking why do you think this way? Why do you think? That doesn't need to be addressed. There's certain levels of skepticism that should be addressed and matters if it is addressed. Like, for example, if you're arguing with someone and they're like, okay, that is a valid point, but do you exist? That's a level of skepticism that isn't needed to be addressed. And that
Yeah,
is
are you
the
done?
same example here. Okay, would you like to go to conclusions now?
Yeah, obviously we're not going to conclusion after you made new points. Fucking retarded. Like, what are we like? Seriously, like, what is the city ass strat he's trying to do? One, okay, you'd have to prove that quote unquote rational people or people with this quote unquote rational mind would think the same as you. I don't know why you're trying to shitty like you're so ass. I don't know why you're trying to slip that in. Okay, one, and then two. Maybe if this were to be the case that you think there's some level of skepticism that we should just not attest to or we should just ignore. To my memory, you never addressed this or said that within the debate. Just kept on digging yourself in a bigger hole. So if Hermes critique, even let's say Hermes did ask you was this, obviously, I mean, under certain norms, I wouldn't say that to be crazy because you kind of are presupposing you exist by making certain claims that you exist, right? But you would have been like, yeah, okay, I'm not answering that. And then you got to give the actual justification, the actual reasoning why somebody or this quote unquote rational mind you're explaining would hear that and be like, yeah, okay. So if you can't just dismiss his quote unquote whys as irrelevant, that's really what you think. But you can't justify something. And then he asked why. Well, like let's say he asked why we see this justification, or why does this justification fit in the thing that you're trying to justify to, right? Let's say he asks these questions, and then he keeps asking these deep questions, right? I don't know what type under framework. I don't know what you're talking about. Like he's already under his framework. I'm gonna explain this to you nicely and concisely. What Hermes did was internally critique your shitty ass argument and skepticize on basic shit, and you could not get past basic skepticism. BBB boy, you're washed. Okay, this isn't 2019. It's not 2021. This is a prime common cop gesture calm. Like you're not just gonna say this shit. Someone's not gonna skepticize your point, and think you think in according to your own framework that you justified this. That doesn't now mean that anybody watching the debate is going to be like, oh shit, bro, yeah, he's so right. He doesn't have to answer the question, especially if the questions he were answering pertain to the scans. But yeah, sure. I guess. What was I about to say? Yeah, if you don't make any new points, you just try to respond to the shitty ass point. We can conclude by your ass. Like crazily. I
Okay,
don't.
that was a pretty good point. I can't lie. So, I wasn't really paying attention to most of the shit. Tyler, did he bring anything new I need to address, or is it just like the same old thing?
I'm more concerned with modding than tracking, bro.
Wait, what?
He didn't track it, bro. He's not listening.
Yeah, I'm trying
Okay,
to like
wait,
make sure you guys
wait,
don't derail.
wait. Who in the chat did he say anything new?
Yeah. He said something to me. Yeah,
What did he
Yeah,
say?
he's trolling, bro.
you gotta track it, bro. You gotta track it.
I was drinking energy drink. Okay, wait. So, what do you
Yeah,
think about
okay,
him?
yeah, we're not
Wait,
holding your hand. We can end it
wait,
here, bro.
wait. I have a new thing to bring up.
Oh my,
Okay, so what do you think?
bro, no.
So, what do you think about
You just
him
went to go conclusion 2 seconds
setting a
ago, bro.
debate? What do you think about him changing up the debate structure to better convene him when he was, in my opinion, losing it?
What do you mean by Jesus base
So,
structure?
like, we had. Well, sorry, this shit is hitting. So we were having the conversation, and then we agreed that we weren't going to go point by point. He explicitly said it himself that we will not be going point by point, and we're just going to be dropping all the scans and all the arguments at once and addressing them after. So he agreed to that. He said that as the metrics of the debate and the conversation, number one. And then once we did that, once he agreed to that, he interrupted me midway through when I was dropping my 20 scans because he agreed to a debate metric that fucks him up because he's low tier and shitty. So he does stuff like that. And then once he did that, he interrupted and then wanted to go point by point, destroying and negating his own debate metric that he set up for the debate.
Did you agree to go point by point after he tried to establish that?
No,
So did y'all go point by point after he established that?
no, he turned on a loud mic. The fuck?
So real quick. Oh, you're so ass. Okay. Is Hermes in the VC? I don't. I'm not gonna just
I
take
don't
this information
take
to
him
be
as
true.
a valid source of anything
Yeah. So why would I take you as a valid source? What the fuck? Are you good?
because I
Because
tell the
what? Tell
truth
me
even
why.
when I lie. Because I tell the truth even when I lie.
Because you told the truth. Yeah, it's a nice claim. So even if like this is kind of trivial, bro. Even if I like agree to this, how does that constitute him losing to you? Like I can grant you, maybe he did
He
lie, but this is
compromised.
trivial. How did he
He
lose
looked
to you?
shitty rhetorically.
Yeah, okay.
Um,
You can
he
certainly think
detracted
he's
the
doing it.
debate.
Under debate
Wasn't
norms, how did he lose to you?
contributing.
You can think he's rhetorically
He
stupid, but what are we doing, B?
he looked shitty rhetorically,
Yeah,
which
we can't end it here.
addresses
He's just
directly to
yeah,
the
we
debate
can't end it here, bro.
conversation.
He's so bro. We can't. He's so ass, bro. So I
All right,
asked
sure, we
how
can end
under
it.
debate norms, maybe
Would
he
you
can
like
justify everything,
to
or
give a
maybe how
conclusion?
him. You got something you want to get off your chest, bro?
Wait, would you like to give a conclusion?
No, I think anyone listens to Vectors know you got your hit slammed, and I
Okay,
think
I'll
you
give
should
my
conclusion.
conclusion because I'm not done with
Yeah, so
that.
the conclusion, no, bro. Sure, go
So
ahead.
overall, I think it was a really good conversation, really good debate. I think we had a good level of truth seeking. Ghostie's a young guy. He's a fighter. He's up and
Yeah,
coming.
hurry up, bro. Hurry up, bro.
At the end of the day, it was pretty good. I think Trouble's still my favorite new gen debater, but Ghosty is rising up the ranks.
Thank you,
But
man.
overall, about the debate itself, Hermes was really shitty, and like I think this isn't a good representation of Ghosty's skill because of how like uphill the topic was at all. So I think I
You got
won,
another
but I think it was just really uphill, and it was really hard for him to win because like of how bad I
the
slammed
debate
him.
went over your head really bad.
All
And
right, is
like,
that your
and I
conclusion?
think he has a gyno and shit like that. But yeah, that's my conclusion. Yep,
Yeah, okay. So I
you
guess he
can have
tried
the
to do
rest.
the method. Yeah, I guess he tried to do the method where he realized he got his head slammed in, so he tried to do the dick ride. It's not what we're doing here. He realized he got his ass beat. He realized he's just simply
I
wrong,
whooped
which is
your
fine.
ass. I
Yo,
whooped
can
your
you
ass,
get muted?
and
Let me
I
just
beat
look
you
at
in
him.
your ass.
Yeah, let
So
me
it's
just look
two
at him.
different
Right. So we're
things.
not gonna do that method. So secondly, the reason I still think he didn't justify as to why he won, and I justified as to why Hermes' internal critiques were valid in this case is one, because him now applying his own arbitrary personal beliefs of Hermes, sorry, oh yeah, of Hermes rhetoric and of how Hermes did the debate. That's trivial. I don't care if you think Hermes rhetoric is bad. I don't care if you think he lost. I don't care if you think he's a fucking dumbass albino. I don't care what you think in your own subjective opinionated sense. We're talking about under the debate norms, right? So under the debate norms that were attributed to the debate, I'm like, okay, so in the debate, did you ever call his skepticism to be baseless? That's one thing we did. He realized he never did this. So by him not doing this, the skepticism is now valid. So by him ignoring the skepticism, even though it's deemed as valid because he thinks that the rational mind would just not take the skepticism to be valid like he did, that's silly, right? That's what we call, yo, I'm a retard, so I'm gonna think this and not actually go along with the debate norms because I'm fucking stupid, I'm old as shit, right? So he did not in any way, shape, or form justify how the skepticism was baseless, right? So everything he said and skepticized was valid. He kind of contradicted himself if he already acknowledges that the skepticism is baseless, and then later says he thinks it's useless, right? Stupid as fuck. Obviously, he would have I was just oh my god, I'm not calling
Wait,
you
one
bad.
sec.
Obviously he would have continued that, right? So then also, yeah, I think everything else he just attributed his own personal bias. I don't think he ever justified or shown why, like even if we like I don't even agree to that whole Hermes metric point because I wasn't there, but even if you go under that metric, I asked him why would this constitute Hermes automatically losing because he changed the debate style or debate metric. He just said his rhetoric was bad, right? Once again, some arbitrary, shitty ass definition. Sorry, not definition. View. Yeah, we can say the right, Brown.